All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Bakemonogatari, episode 7. Okay.
All right. Kanbaru has been introduced.
Some psycho stabbings happened by the railroad tracks.
And punchings.
And punching, yes. Yeah. Much blood and aggressiveness.
It's a very good thing that Araragi can regenerate, because otherwise he would be in trouble.
I think this is going to be a repetitive selling point of the show, is that Araragi will get the ever-loving crap beat out of him every once in a while.
Will there be at some point where we see someone that goes...
I don't know necessarily. I think that this show is all about the quick cuts and stuff, and requires a sustained kind of sound.
That is a good point.
Track of sounds. So I don't know if that would work exactly.
But was it Kanbaru? Was it someone else? Is it the manifestation of whatever her problem is? Maybe related to the bandages on her arm?
Yeah. I'd assume it's something related to Kanbaru, but as of whether or not it's going to be
like physically her.
Yeah. That remains to be seen. So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yellow.
Naturally.
Oh. So you did or didn't do this?
Beat her to it.
Yeah, exactly. Something that resembles it. Whoa. Oh my god.
Now, why is he lying?
Because he probably knows who and why.
Yeah.
No, of course not. He just needs a short rest,
Oh, okay. It was coming down the other tracks.
Right?
Wow.
What light beyond doth darkness breaks and shines forth anew! The gods have surely shined brightly upon us this day.
And the thing is, we don't actually know if she was wearing panties or not. The eternal question.
That's Jacob. Like Schrodinger's panties, until they've been... Wait, no, they're quantum entangled panties.
Right.
Until they've been observed, they both exist in a super
panties.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I... Yeah.
Right.
Just trying to... Both of them. They both are there and not there. They exist in a quantum super state.
Now, I'm really curious what this whole thing is of Shinjigahara and Kanbaru being different colors, but then as they overlap each other, it becomes a different color again. Dead or alive?
Well, we know now that the thing that came to attack Araragi was one of those cloaked figures in the OP.
And they were surrounding Kanbaru, so it's probably not her?
It's probably not her, yeah.
But there is a connection, so...
Oh, of course there's a connection. It's just a question of whether or not she is one of them at, like, a specific time or in a specific scenario. Or the
manifestations of her inner negativity, or...
Yeah, something like that.
Now, the bandages, that could also be a connotation to, like, baggage, I feel like they're getting slower.
No, don't say that. Cool. Okay.
Nice place.
What? Oh my god, that was hilarious. For which part? There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Stalker. He didn't say beautiful. She was wrong, though.
Right, exactly. He's just like defeated. Is that the wrong question?
No.
Right. He asks a question and dodges answering the question. Oh.
She asks after the craziness that happened the day before.
Right, there's that thing with the staplers again.
There's the cat again.
Mm-hmm. Their old, he's like, yeah, I go off the beaten path in this dating game. Like, I hit all the dialogue options.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Uh-oh.
Other than my book collection.
The part of her body that breaks from the oh, that looked like fur.
Oh beast, gotcha.
Oh,
monkey, okay,
nice, okay, gotcha.
Okay. Huh. So she always wanted to punch Araragi. Some kind of light novel author or something.
But the way he thrust himself among the books, just like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, my life. It's made to suffer.
Be gentle, senpai.
Oh my gosh. That breaks apart your established character. Or rather, it moves of its own will.
Yep. Senjigahara, yeah.
Yep. Nice. This is really cool, really creepy. Okay, good. So we know it was her. Mm.
At least it's not her right arm.
But didn't she have bandages on both arms a while ago?
I think it was just the one.
Okay. That's really freaky.
Yeah. And you would have been too. Don't count on it.
Sure. Which is okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we knew she was probably crushing on Senjugahara.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Oh. Unrequited. Okay, okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Back then.
Mm. Yeah. But you couldn't.
Mm-hmm. Because she had saved you from something? Oof.
Senjugahara for you. Yep.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Mm. So she... Ah, gotcha. Right. Oh, dang.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh.
All the books are messed up.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Yep.
That was awesome.
All right. Think
Sure.
positive. Glass half full.
Okay.
Her box opener. Box cutter.
She kind of just fell into my arms, you know, one
Yeah.
day. It just kind of happened, you know. She said it herself.
Thought you said you only liked girls.
Oh, they got bigger. Oh my gosh. Yes, we know. Mmm. Now she's leading. As she's leading the conversation. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh!
That's probably some meta commentary to like weebs.
Oh yeah. This is important.
Wow.
They're walking even more frantically. This is amazing. Wrong!
And he's following after him now. Now, is she talking about this just to try and get him to go after her? That way he'll ruin things with Shinjigahara?
Maybe. I don't know.
I must know.
Definite answer. Or definitive.
How did you get there?
Right. Just because someone sees you as Y doesn't mean anyone sees you as Y. Doesn't mean you actually are Y.
Sorry, we've been talking for about 3 hours now.
It's her subconsciously stalling so that she can get to the transformation thing and then end up, you know, actually killing him.
Oh, Shinobu again.
Yeah. Her again.
And again.
She's nothing. She's nothing.
Why?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, why was she on the stairs?
Ah!
Since yesterday.
Huh.
So she really likes donuts.
Yeah. There you go. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed. You catch on quick. Yes, yes. Ah!
Even more than it already is.
Right. He's gonna have to kick Shinobu out, you know?
Or even worse, not buy donuts anymore.
Oh no. Ooh, what's this track?
Going western all of a sudden.
Wait, how did he know that he judged it as a monkey's paw?
Okay.
Okay. So the combination.
All right.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, this is way worse than.
Hmm.
So how many wishes have you made thus far? Oh.
All right. Yeah, that's a good question. Has she made wishes so far?
Well, I think the main thing we can determine is she's made at least one regarding Senjigahara.
Yes, she did. Oh, yeah, that's right. She did say that she wanted to forget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Good catch.
The question though is that the whole taking over will thing, is that her making a wish without knowing she made a wish, and then it has her take over her body and go kill.
It could also just be something
Araragi.
like where, because of the one wish she made prior, she's already paid part of her soul. Hence why at nighttime is usually, like when it's really dark, it's usually about 8 hours.
Sure.
So, like, it doesn't have to be that, but it could be.
Ooh, that's really cool. The idea that it's a percentage of her life already is just gone.
Right. Yeah.
She can't get that back.
All to forget for a year the girl she liked.
I
think we've said this before, but the song is so uplifting for the visuals that are like, this is going to be dark. And like...
Right. I can't do this one yet.
Geiteo, that's an easy part, Okay.
All right. So we know, I would say, the bare minimum regarding Kanbaru, regarding
her issue.
Her issue.
So it's
unrequited love.
Makes sense. And we had kind of figured it was something like that from the previous episode.
Yeah. There was a definite setup towards the attraction regarding Senjugahara.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're being so open with it now means that they were basically saying, yes, this is part of it, but the actual problem is going to be a little bit of a twist, which is why they ended up saying, no, this is actually a rainy devil, not some kind of monkey's paw kind of thing. This is actually quite serious, and it brings into question the how many wishes have you made thus far? And I like the idea that it's just one at this point, and that's why 8 hours of her day is essentially locked away already for night. Now, that's a very specific kind of prediction here, but let's go and see if there is a case to be made for 2 wishes being made already.
Okay.
Because I think it puts a sense of urgency on her situation a little bit more, but also I think it would be cool to know that if her soul is being eroded away, or if it's an all or nothing. So if it's all or nothing, then the main thing that's being brought up is that there's multiple angles being hit upon
right
here.
Because the thing that she said about, like, she used very particular verbiage when talking about how she basically wished that she could forget about Senjugahara or something like that. So if it's not that, then the question of what is it and what are they going to do with it, that'll be interesting to see what they do. Right. If it is already one wish, then does that mean we're going to get to see, like, on the next episode, we're going to get to see her make her second wish or something like that, and then it's going to be like Araragi has to, like, convince her, no, stop, as she's about to make her third wish, or,
Well, here's what we can look at it this way, is that if it can make anything come true, in some ways, it's the thing that can also save her. She can wish it away. She can wish it away. She can remove it. And I think that's kind of the thing that's important to know here, because I think there's a possibility she's made 2 wishes already.
Okay.
And if she's made 2 wishes already, she can't make any more wishes, which means it's now going to be a kind of a thing where Araragi is going to need to go on the little mini quest with her to help remove this thing via the hard way. Right. And it's probably going to involve Senjugahara and her actually having a conversation about what happened when Kanbaru was in junior high. Yeah. And crushed on her.
And one of the ways that if they have it be something where she ends up wishing it away, that ties in very nicely to the basically character development being the impetus for the problem being resolved. Because in the same way with Senjugahara, that she had to basically come to terms with things, and that involved, like, hypnosis and things like that, and whatnot. If in this, and that maybe ties in with Kanbaru's personality of being very positive and open, then if it gets to the point where she basically just needs to process it and accept it, and, that she was, yes, rejected by Senjugahara, and that Senjugahara is with Araragi now and all that, so that she can basically fully let go, then that could be a really good way to resolve it. But they could also go for something a bit more intense if they wanted to. Since they do have this being that likes to come out and beat the crap out of Araragi. Yet Kanbaru also... Because the thing is that the fact that it targeted Araragi like that, it could be that it was just he was nearby, right? And she went into that area specifically, but it seems like it has some remnants of Kanbaru's desires, even if it's like her darker side. Because it wasn't just random that it ended up beating the crap out of Araragi in the previous episode, right?
Okay, so I'm following you a little bit. What I'm hearing you primarily saying is that the development of Kanbaru is being tied to her accepting what happened, accepting the rejection and moving on.
Yeah.
But that's using the wish that she was doing, or using the wish that she would have gotten from not moving on. Meaning that the question of whether or not the beast thing is tied to her desires in some way, this whole act of that, I think that's generally yes. Like it should be in some way because it's attached.
That's
to
how
her.
It started at the very least.
That's how it started. It was jealousy, not just jealousy of Araragi, but in some ways jealousy of Senjugahara. Just jealous for her time, jealous for her attention,
even when there was no competition per se.
It all fits in rather naturally. So what I'm curious about is how you tied in character development with Kanbaru to her newfound dark
Yeah.
pact that she made with a demon thing,
Right.
and how using a wish with that would be connected to character development,
Yeah.
to her development. How do you figure that?
Well, basically just that because, okay, the wish that she made was a wish that she made when she was feeling something very strongly, right?
Right.
And because of that, it was a true wish. That's why it extended into the supernatural, as far as we can tell,
Sure.
right? Because people wish things all the time, but it doesn't cause a demon to latch onto them. So
right.
this was extreme circumstances. So she wants to have it resolved, this whole, this limb, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she probably doesn't fully want it to be resolved. She's still holding on to the past,
mm-hmm.
and maybe the future, right? With wondering about what's going to happen. Because the thing that really confused me, and it could just be fan service, harem aspects of another girl's introduced, but of her wanting to replace Senjugahara with Araragi. Because that seems like a different angle. Because
I can answer that.
Oh yeah,
I can answer that. There's a very, very specific thing I think they're targeting with Kanbaru here, in the same way as that her character is moving in the way she's moving because of her rejection. She is latching onto the attachment that some other person has for her, showing that she's willing to change herself and deny certain aspects of herself in order to be accepted by at least someone. And I think also in some ways it's part of her obsession, or not necessarily obsession, but her wanting to be with Senjugahara. The closest thing that she could then even get is be like Senjugahara, be treated as Senjugahara.
Because when she thinks so highly of her, then the ultimate compliment basically would
be her, to become her.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
I think that right now she's moving along things based along rejection, and I think that we can look at the idea of her having some part of her body that she rejects by putting on a bandage as a visual representation of her rejecting maybe the part of herself within that she feels like is inhuman. Maybe that's she's unhappy with her sex, her gender, or even her orientation, and she's wishing that, she even says on some level, she's like, well, was it just that I wasn't a man, and that's why the idea of romance was thrown to the side and rejected by Senjugahara. I think that this is all going to come down to her learning why she was rejected by Senjugahara and accepting that Senjugahara made her decision, and that's okay,
and that her feelings are still valid.
Because I think that everyone's feelings are valid. If we've seen anything in this episode that shows that she thinks her feelings were invalid, I would love to know what you think that is, because I think if anything, her thoughts on this is that she questions what it was that caused her to be rejected. She spiraled out of control based around the rejection. And it made her go like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not enough?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't mean her feelings. I don't think that means that she thought her feelings towards Senjugahara were insufficient. She thought that there was something wrong with her that made her unworthy of Senjugahara.
I would basically say the two are kind of too closely tied to distinguish between them.
Oh, okay.
Because the visual representation of there being this beast aspect and her not being able to control it and it taking her over and all that stuff, that screams that there is basically there is an internal psychological conflict, right?
Totally.
With her and herself, basically. The fact that it's a demon is just basically a way to make manifest and give an example of the fact that she is split, right?
Absolutely.
So if this were something where it were not stated to be a demon, then one of the possible ways of resolving it would be acceptance. rather than letting go.
Yes.
Right. And but
it's the opposite of rejection.
Right. Exactly. Which is kind of what I feel like she needs to do, because since she's been rejected, it feels like she's maybe sensitive to rejection. She did talk about that a lot, that, that she would have been hurt if Araragi, which completely makes sense, that anyone
absolutely
would,
makes sense,
be like disappointed and sad if someone rejected them like that when they showed them something.
But what does that have to do with her feelings being valid?
That basically, I think she might be. I think she's rejecting a part of herself.
Yes, I think that what she's rejecting is not with regards to her feelings towards Senjugahara, but it's actually what makes her a person. Like, it goes even deeper than that. Like, it goes down to her, like, having a part of herself that physically changed.
Well, and that...
Because we never, this is one of the things they didn't really go into, whereas I think they did go into in the previous girls setup, was that they actually met at crossroads with, like, a thing, like a Hitagi crab and stuff like that. This, we never heard specifically about some kind of deal with a demon being made.
Right. It was just she wished upon a star kind of a thing, and it ended up happening.
Yeah, and that seems like this is more of a self-internalized, perceived thing.
Well, and the fact that she bandages it up, like she hides it from public view, like almost like she doesn't even want to look at it.
Also, one of the things she said very early on in this episode was, how do you feel about special, supernatural, extraordinary things, or something like that?
Yeah.
Do you believe what your eyes see?
Right.
Then she shows later the bandage, the arm. So what's possible? What's possible here is that even Araragi is misinterpreting actually what. Oh no, we know that he was. We know that he was. Oh my God, it's right there.
What?
He misinterpreted the arm thing as a monkey's paw. And she's like, yes, exactly. You're so perceptive. How does she know that it's a monkey's paw?
Right, and they never established that. So, and then they go and it's like, no, it's not a monkey's paw, it's something different.
But what I think is important there is that means that she was hoping he would perceive it as that. Meaning that she knows it's not that. Maybe on some level she knows it's not that. And she's basically saying, oh, good. Well, he's on the same page with me. I can get him to accept me. He's not going to reject me because it's something else.
One thing they could also do is it could be basically going at it from the point that I need to formulate this properly, but basically she reveals it. Right. Monkey's paw, and she's like, wow, that's so smart, right? She commends him on his insight, basically. But that could also be something where basically she kind of maybe latches on to that idea too, because she has been ignoring it herself. She hasn't been looking at it. She hasn't been looking at it closely. And Oshino, Meme, when they go to him, it's painfully obvious for him, right? He just takes one look at it and he's like, oh yeah, this is what it is. No, it's not a monkey paw thing. It's this other thing. But
he knows things he shouldn't know.
Yeah, how he knows the things he knows is an excellent
How did he know about the raincoat thing? How do you know about that?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where they basically kind of like skip over stuff so that it's just to speed things along, but you don't know whether it's like skipping past expositing or something else.
Okay. I think that it's actually telling us more of what he is.
That he's clairvoyant
He's clairvoyant. He has telepathic abilities of some kind or what have you.
Sure.
Something like that. He divined not only that, the raincoat thing, but he also divined the Araragi's judgment on the whole thing. If Araragi determined it to be a monkey's paw.
That's true. Now, if so, that raises a very serious question. Why did he eat the extra donut? Was it some kind of power play?
Well, I think what it is it's him basically. It is
like,
a power play.
I paid for these donuts. Well, I'm getting the extra one.
Well, let's think about it this way: if she's a vampire too, in some ways, like she has at least some capabilities to be, not necessarily a threat, but someone that's like, a potential problem at some point. So he's basically just reminding her, I'm the boss here. And you can sit there and sulk in the corner while I have the extra donut. Which he would know that she would do that because if he's clairvoyant, he could have some.
And here's another thing. Let's take this to the next level.
Oh no! We're getting off track, Jacob.
No. So, extra donut means there was an odd number of donuts because there's only 2 of them. What donut shop sells odd numbers of donuts normally? He intentionally purchased an odd number of donuts so that he could eat the extra one, and it would bother Shinobu.
Yeah, because if we assume that he's clairvoyant, eating the extra donut precludes that he set up the scenario by which an extra donut could even be eaten. So obviously, obviously that's the case. See, we're smart. We're smart people. We can see things in the show. We don't see everything, but like.
And then you could say that the fact that Shinobu was just sitting there quietly. Now maybe that's just the way her character is, but it could also be that she's pouting because she knows that that's why he did it, and she's like, but he does pay for the donuts. I can't argue him on that point.
Hey, and as far as I'm concerned, like. He must have bought a lot of donuts, like
in order for an extra one. It wasn't like I bought 3 donuts and I had 2 and she had 1.
No,
it was
probably like I bought 7 donuts,
right? Or a baker's dozen, full 13.
That's great. I also feel like Oshino, if we assume that he's a character that knows more than it's a way to build his character up over the course of time, is that he knows a lot more than he lets on, is that part of his job probably in the plot, but also as a character, is to give very simplified explanations, not just for us as an audience to understand this world and stuff, but also to cut the conversation potentially shorter than it would be if Araragi started to ask questions.
Sure.
Basically, just kind of go, let's move along.
What it is, yeah.
Also, there is a very real thing that we keep coming back to, is that there is time before this in terms of linear progression that we have not seen yet.
Yeah.
Because of Araragi's vampire thing, for one.
Well, yeah.
But also just these other characters that were just there and they haven't kind of gotten proper introductions.
Yeah, they mentioned a cat.
Like Hanakawa or Kanakawa.
Yeah.
But
I think she's supposed to be the cat. Yeah. Because there was like a in one of the things where they showed a bunch of
flashes,
sequences of flashes and stuff. There was something where I think she had cat ears or cat paws or something like that.
Oh, I buy that for sure. Okay, so we're here. We have the next episode going into probably the solving of Kanbaru's issues.
Yes, because this is episode 2 of her arc. So
I gotta say, I am now really loving the pseudo meta banter regarding things like the non-existent panties and
that too.
The BL stuff and
the top or bottom and everything, but then also saying like, but see, if all this, what was it, all this forced like purity and stuff or whatever will cause you to not be able to properly interact with women once you're out in society, because
you won't even be able to say hello,
because you won't even be able to say hello to them. It's like, whoa, if that's not pointed, I don't know what is.
Yeah,
that was more pointed than Araragi's, little hair
boing
hair
thing that kept getting bigger and more erect, as time went on.
Eventually, just like wigging out and.
Well, no, actually, that's the thing that was really cool. The part where it was really wigging out was when she flashed back to seeing Senjikahara and Araragi
the tail wagging,
talking to each other. The tail wagging,
that was great. I was talking about the part where it was like jumping up and down.
Oh, the part was like, intensely tight and just like,
just like,
that was hilarious. That was so funny. Yeah. Like, I think I'm now starting to kind of clue into what style of banter this show has and why it uses it and when it will decide to use it. Like, it's starting to not get repetitive, but it's starting to develop a pattern that makes sense. I would say repetitive is an oversimplification of that, but it is starting to develop into a pattern.
Yes,
and I think the pattern it makes sense. I can almost predict now when it's going to start happening. I'm like, oh, we're going to this thing with all the books and stuff like that. Yep. Here we go.
The books, by the way, that montage was absolutely wonderful.
That was hilarious.
So good. That was
super high frame rate, animation and stuff.
Well, and the books being all 3D and stuff, because there's a bazillion of them and they're all identical. Now, here's a question for those of you out there who read BL. Is this something that happens for you? Because it seems to be, they seem to be doing this with Kanbaru, where basically it's almost like she just goes around like assessing people and thinking, I'll bet they're a bottom. Oh, that person's a top. That person's a bottom. That person's a bottom. That person's a top. Is that something that happens?
I gotta say, as someone who talks very frequently with a couple people who are very much into BL and stuff like that, it is something that I've heard very casually thrown around, but it is always regarding fictional characters.
Ah.
So an example would be you talk about someone in Haikyuu or something, and you're like, oh, that like
Please, no lewd.
Kageyama is a feisty bottom, basically, or
he doesn't want to be, but he still ends up being.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and I hear it just get dropped like all the time. I've never heard it referred to as with real people though.
That you know of.
That I know of. That is true though.
Yeah.
So it's a good question. Maybe y'all can answer that in the comments if you are someone who is inclined to read a lot of BL potentially, and the mods will pass along those comments to us. But I think this was a really fun episode, and also getting, I would say, some definitive answers, even some answers that led to actual answers, like answers that led to no, it's actually this kind of answers, is really cool, because there were a couple times I remember in the beginning when things were kept vague enough that they wouldn't have Araragi do things like guessing correctly onto things. He was kind of being more of the usual protagonist who is unaware of the environment for our sake.
Yeah, and I think that's what it mainly was. It was intentional to get the audience into what was going on. Right,
and as a result, things were moving slower. And in this case, they actually moved things relatively quickly. And the only time where things technically moved slow was in the banter dialogue, where we were having the most ridiculous fun.
And the thing is, like, that there's a part of me that wonders whether I liked that set of banter so much just because they were talking about like BL and like, top or bottom and all this stuff and and whatnot.
And whether you like boxers or briefs more.
Right.
Which, by the way, do you like boxers or briefs more, Jacob?
That's a bit personal. I don't know.
I think we should answer this question because I think it's very important, and we should also let people know that there is a separate third option beyond boxers and just briefs.
Tidy whities?
No. Boxer briefs.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not gonna answer? Okay, fine.
Hey, if you want to answer, you answer first.
I'll answer first. Yeah, I think that was the thing. I was like, boxers or briefs, well, and both. Kind of boxer briefs are the best because everything's not so waveformy and stuff that it's not an issue, and then it's not so tight that you get sweaty and stuff. So it gives that nice breathing medium there that doesn't irritate you. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There are specific things that I want to say that kind of agree and counter with that. Okay. I am also a boxer briefs person. But yeah, I will refrain from those things because
well, there you go, y'all. If you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. Any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us about stories or just whatever and hang out there. Jacob's going to promote something real quick.
Speaking of BL.
Oh, yeah.
So, my sci-fi novel, Battle Lines, is available for pre-order still. BL. Yeah, whether it has BL in it or not, that is up for you to find out when you pre-order it. The link in the pinned comment down below. It's an absolutely excellent story. The stretch goals, a bunch of them have been reached, and the art for Mercury was released recently. It's pretty awesome. So if you have already checked out the Kickstarter, check it out again if you haven't seen the art, because it's awesome. You should buy the book because it's an amazing adventure, and I can't wait for you to go on it with me. But yeah.
So if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.